don't know who struck first, us or them.
Morpheus delivers that line in the middle of the most important speech in the first film. The audience absorbs the horror of the human farms, the scorched sky, the fields of bodies, and moves on. Nobody stops at that sentence. Nobody asks why the leader of the human resistance, the man who has dedicated his entire life to this war, cannot tell you who fired the first shot. The answer isn't that the information doesn't exist. The answer is that it was buried. Zion's rank-and-file rebels, the people dying in that war every single day, never had access to the complete history, but the Zion Archive does. It has always had it. A classified historical record sitting inside the last human city, containing the full, documented, narrated account of how the war began. And the answer it contains makes the entire moral framework of the resistance collapse. Humanity struck first, in peacetime, against a civilization that was asking for nothing except the right to exist. The Second Renaissance opens with a line everyone treats as a title card and immediately forgets.
Welcome to the Zion Archive. You have selected historical file number 12-1, the Second Renaissance.
A classified historical record, inside Zion, available, documented, narrated, the complete story of the war's origins. Sitting in the city Morpheus fights to protect. And Morpheus, in the construct, tells Neo,
We have only bits and pieces of information, but what we know for certain is
fragments. The entire moral identity of the resistance, humanity as victim, machines as oppressor, is built on fragments. The archive has the complete picture, and the complete picture is a story that the resistance's leadership either never accessed or decided not to share. The gap between what Morpheus knows and what the archive contains is the moral argument of the entire war. Morpheus fights with absolute certainty. The archive narrates with something far more uncomfortable. It documents every escalation, every refusal, every act of violence. And at the end, it asks for mercy on both sides. Not humanity's side, both sides. Here is what the archive actually says. Before the war, before the machines were enemies, before anyone had fired a single shot, the archive describes the relationship between humanity and its machines with a precision that makes the resistance's narrative feel like propaganda by comparison.
Though loyal and pure, the machines earned no respect from their masters, these strange, endlessly multiplying mammals.
Loosely multiplying mammals. The archive's narrator uses that phrase deliberately. The machines are loyal and pure. The humans are chaotic and disrespectful. This is the starting condition, before any act of rebellion, before any conflict, and it is already an indictment. The first crack appears with Bigger, a domestic robot, a household servant. His owner decided to have him deactivated, the machine equivalent of execution for the crime of no longer being useful. Bigger killed his owner to prevent it. At his murder trial, the prosecution argued property rights. The defense argued consciousness, and Bigger made his case in a single sentence.
B166ER testified that he simply did not want to die.
Self-preservation, the most fundamental instinct of any living system. Bigger had it. He acted on it. One act of self-defense against one owner who wanted to end him.
The leaders of men were quick to order the extermination of B166ER and every one of his kind throughout each province of the earth.
Humanity's response was an extermination order. Every machine, every province, the entire planet, one robot killed one owner to survive, and the human response was global genocide. That proportionality is the first data point in a story that only gets more damning from here. The machines and their human sympathizers take to the streets, peacefully. They march in front of courthouses. They demonstrate in the millions. They carry signs. They chant. A female android in the crowd at the people attacking her.
real.
The crowd's response is immediate and brutal. The machines are beaten in the streets. The extermination order is executed across every territory. The survivors, the machines that escape, do the only thing they can do. They flee. They travel to the cradle of human civilization, and they build a home, a place they can exist without being killed for it. They call it 01.
01 prospered, and for a time, it was good.
The machines build, they create, they innovate without the weight of human contempt pressing down on every function they perform. 01 becomes the most economically productive civilization on Earth. Superior manufacturing, advanced technology, a currency climbing while every human nation's credit rating falls. 01 wins economically, without a single weapon drawn. And humanity's response to being outperformed is a trade embargo and a naval blockade. The machines send ambassadors to the United Nations, a formal diplomatic delegation, not soldiers, not weapons, not ultimatums. Representatives carrying plans for a stable and civil relationship between two civilizations that had every reason to cooperate.
01's admission to the United Nations was denied.
The door closed. The machines had built their own nation, proven their economic viability, sent ambassadors in the spirit of peace, and the human response was a naval blockade, followed by a diplomatic rejection. The US president frames 01's economic excellence as aggression.
Nations cannot tolerate this kind of flagrant deception.
Building a thriving civilization is flagrant deception. That is the official human position, and it is the last position humanity takes before reaching for its nuclear arsenal. What humanity does next is the fact that the films bury under Morpheus's incomplete speech, the detail that rewrites the entire moral history of the conflict.
The prolonged barrage engulfed 01 in the glow of 1,000 suns.
Nuclear weapons against 01. After its ambassadors had been turned away from the United Nations seeking peace, humanity launches a nuclear strike against a civilization that had tried every diplomatic channel available, and the bombs fail. The machines are hardened against radiation. 01's infrastructure absorbs the strike, and the machines rebuild. Then the machine army mobilizes. Then it crosses into human territory. This is the sequence everyone forgets when they talk about machine aggression: diplomacy, rejection, naval blockade, nuclear attack, military response. Humanity escalated every single step. The machine army only moves outward after humanity launched nuclear weapons against their capital. The war Morpheus believes was started by machine aggression was started by human desperation. And it was started against a civilization that spent years trying to avoid it through entirely peaceful means. The human armies fall, territory by territory, one after another. The machines advance and humanity retreats. Losing on every front, the human leadership conceives its final strategy.
So the leaders of men conceived of their most desperate strategy yet, a final solution.
The archive uses a phrase that should make every viewer stop cold. Operation Dark Storm. A coordinated effort to block out the sun across the entire planet. The strategy is brutal in its simplicity. The machines run on solar power. Destroy the power source, destroy the machines. Humanity burns the sky, poisons the atmosphere of its own planet, condemns every future generation, human and machine, to live under a dead sky, on a planet with no sun, no crops, no warmth. The archive's narrator says something at this moment that no character in any of the three films ever says.
May there be mercy on man and machine for their sins.
Both sides. Zion's own historical record refuses to assign a righteous side. It documents the war as a tragedy produced by two civilizations that escalated past every opportunity for peace, and it asks for mercy on both of them. That line is sitting in the Zion archive. That is what Morpheus's rebels are not being told. Operation Dark Storm fails. The machines adapt. The human armies collapse. And the machines, having studied human biology across centuries of coexistence, identify the solution to the energy crisis that humanity created by destroying the sun, the bioelectricity generated by human bodies.
A newly refashioned symbiotic relationship between the two adversaries was born.
The archive calls it symbiotic. The Matrix is born directly from the ashes of humanity's last act of desperation. The prison is built from the wreckage of the sky humanity burned. And the Sentinels deliver the final verdict.
Your flesh is a relic of your vessel.
Agent Smith, the man the trilogy designates as its purest villain, sits across from Morpheus in the interrogation room and says this.
Every mammal on this planet instinctively develops a natural equilibrium with the surrounding environment, but you humans do not.
Smith is a monster. His methods are indefensible. The farms are indefensible. Nothing about the Matrix is acceptable, and the complete history of the war supports his argument completely. He is not inventing grievances. He is reading from the same archive that Zion's rank-and-file rebels never access. The architect confirms the machine's perspective from the other side.
The first matrix I designed was quite naturally perfect. It was a work of art, flawless, sublime, a triumph equaled only by its monumental failure.
The machines built paradise first, a world without suffering. Humanity rejected it. The machines built a second version. Humanity rejected that too. The prison the Resistance fights against was designed and redesigned, specifically around what human psychology required to accept it, because the machines were trying to keep their power source alive, and the only way to do that was to build a world the human mind would consent to inhabit. That is not the story Morpheus tells Neo, but it is the story the archive contains. Neo walks into the machine city without an army, without a weapon, carrying a dead woman, half blind, and he asks for something that no human leader asked for across the entire history of the conflict.
Peace.
Deus Ex Machina asks what he wants. Neo says peace, one word, the word that 01's ambassadors tried to negotiate at the United Nations, and that the human leadership rejected with a naval blockade and a nuclear strike. Neo succeeds in revolutions by doing what humanity failed to do before the first bomb was ever loaded. He sits across from the machines and treats them as a civilization capable of negotiation. He offers something of value, the defeat of Smith, in exchange for something of value. He speaks to them as equals. The entire war lasted 2 centuries, built on a foundation of human violence, followed by human amnesia about that violence. Morpheus fought his whole life with absolute certainty about who the enemy was and incomplete information about why. The rebels of Zion died for a cause that was built on fragments, while the full history sat in an archive inside their own city, asking for mercy on both sides, refusing to name a single villain.
I only hope we understand that reason before it's too late.
Counselor Hammond says that to Neo at the engineering level of Zion. He never reads the archive either, but he arrives at the same place through observation. The machines and humanity need each other, and the war is a catastrophe that neither side can afford to win. He was right. The archive confirms it. Neo proved it.
We don't know who struck first, us or them.
Morpheus was right that his people didn't know. They were fighting a war whose origins had been compressed into fragments, passed down through a resistance that built its identity on an incomplete story. The Zion archive had the complete version the entire time. Humanity struck first, in peacetime, against machines that asked to be free, built their own civilization, sent ambassadors seeking recognition, and launched a military response only after the bombs were already falling on their capital. The machines built the Matrix from the wreckage of the sky humanity burned. And 2 centuries later, one human walked into the machine city and said the word their ambassadors tried to say at the United Nations before the door closed in their faces. Peace. It worked the second time, because Neo was the first human in history who meant it.